I've read a lot about the royal family and about these two, but when I see with my own eyes what she was trying to pull in that Oprah interview, and I know he was there too, but she was the main one, and she was saying some blatant lies. She was misrepresenting some things, and I just everything about her in that interview rubbed me the wrong way. And that was really the first time, when I thought, wow, this person really is toxic, and these two, they're off on a bad trip here with all this stuff. So what do you think? Where do you think they go from here? Where do you think we see? Do you have any clue where we see them in 5 years or whatever? I feel like the public is going to eventually tire of this, and already they're kind of running out of material, right? Apparently, that Netflix documentary, they were trying to take out some of the best parts of that because now they don't want to offend Charles, because Charles is apparently hanging the prince and princess title for their kids sort of over their head, right? Like, well, we'll give this to you, but let's see first how things come out. So they're like apparently behind the scenes. They were trying to get the memoir edited and get the Netflix documentary edited and basically take out the juicy stuff so they wouldn't offend the family. We'll see. But really, after they had their Netflix documentary and after this memoir, it doesn't seem like her career in Hollywood's really taking off, despite, that when we saw Harry trying to talk to an Disney executive into hiring her.
Bob Iger. Bob Iger. I don't know if they're even going to be invited to the coronation. Proximity to state power kind of level. That's the kind of influence that it seems pretty clear that Meghan at least wants to have. I mean, she will not shoot down the idea that she's going to run for president. Okay. It definitely takes a very special type of person to entertain the idea that you're going to run for president. And
that's one of the things that came across so much in the Tom Bowers book, is that she seems to think that she has a lot more knowledge and intellectual and experiential authority and credibility than she does. And one of the things that I think about, one of the things that's so annoying about her and about Harry, is that they go around, preaching to people and giving these different political lectures and trying to infuse her edition of Vogue with all this woke politics and everything. But really, they don't really know much. I know Harry's, as part of his job, he's traveled, and I guess she's traveled. But like the overriding impression that I kept getting from the Bauer book is that this is someone who is actually, Meghan is actually, well, and Harry, I guess too, but an intellectual lightweight who really hasn't learned much, who's lived this kind of celebrity sort of D-list life or C-list or whatever until she met Harry, and really, thinks that she knows a lot more than she does. And I think that's another thing that's really rubbing people the wrong way. The royal family is supposed to stay out of politics. And so you have these two people, neither of which are very learned. I know, she has a university degree, but neither of whom are very learned, knowledgeable, or who have much insight, who apparently think that they should be going around dictating to others, on all kinds of topics, political, international, whatever.
Yeah. And that's the thing that it's such an important principle of the monarchy. And it's something I wish we had some type of anything like what do we have that's like that in the US? But there's a certain amount of arrogance that, you would have to think that you can just walk in with your bachelor's degree and have greater insight into the workings of diplomacy and, these complex geopolitical
race relations or whatever. Yeah.
That the Queen Elizabeth so gracefully handled for decades. I mean, she presided over the most peaceful, bloodless decolonization process that has ever existed. Like most of the time, you don't get rid of a king without cutting off his head. England knows that one as well.
I'm glad you brought up the C word too, decolonization, because I'm tired of people saying that the royal family, they're a bunch of colonialists or whatever. First of all, as you said, this group, they did preside over massive decolonization. Secondly, Queen Elizabeth actually, she took a bit of a stand against apartheid when that was under contention in South Africa. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't think that you can look at her or the royal family and say that they're guilty of some kind of colonial crimes. And if you want to look at, and if you want to say, well, they're representatives of England, Great Britain, and they've committed colonial crimes. Well, let me tell you something. Every single group of people and every single nation state has committed, I'm sure you come up with some exception, but by and large, 90% of them have in their history done all kinds of colonialist stuff and everything. So that's human nature. It's everyone. There are a bunch of people who don't even realize that the white slave trade was a huge thing for centuries or whatever, right? Or you talk to people about the colonialism of the Ottoman Empire or whatever. What about when the Muslims were the ones terrorizing people? They were the horrific colonialists. Or what about the Africans who were selling their own people into slavery? So this whole argument that England and its royal family has to be taken as representing colonialist evil, that's just not the case. And yes, England, it was engaged in colonialism. They weren't alone. They just did it better than everyone else. Anyway.
Well, and I think too that part of the challenge of that is that given that these are, as you pointed out, these are historical realities. There's no going back and undoing the history of colonialism. America has our own pretty, not awesome history.
So does Africa.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, yeah.
In fact, where do you still find, where is slavery most accepted on the globe now? It ain't here, and it ain't England. In fact, England was one of the first places to abolish slavery. Read the story of William Wilberforce. Okay. So there's just a lot of historical misunderstanding, and, it's not surprising, but,
well, my point really about the, the issue that I take with that kind of critique is just that it doesn't leave any room for improvement. If, the Queen, look at the Queen on her own record before, we go far down the road of who's representing colonialism and who isn't, because like you pointed out, she has made enormous steps for, self-determination by, a large number of African countries and, former colonies like in the Caribbean and stuff. She has really accomplished a lot in that sphere. And so to just kind of hoist, whatever Queen Elizabeth I did onto her shoulders and throw it all out is essentially saying, well, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what good things you do, how you turn the ship. If your ship itself, I guess, is flawed, then it just sort of undermines, like, well, then why even make the effort? She's just going to be tarred as something that she's not.
Right. That's an excellent point.